So let's talk more about the off season. I made a video the other day talking about the deals that happen in the off season, but since I'm not looking to make a video about every single deal, I waited till some more deals came around so I could update again, and then we could see the new things that are coming to light. First, I want to say it is very interesting what happened today. Buddy Hield went to the Warriors, and that is something which, for me, just completely like threw me off in every way. He is now a splash buddy. That's what they're calling them, because Buddy Hield and Steph, Buddy Hield basically is acting like the replacement of Klay Thompson. He is a player which is good. He's made a lot of threes in his career, and he's one of the better three-point shooters in the game. But in my opinion, I do believe that him going to Golden State is just kind of to mend what they lose with Clay. I believe it's also a way for them, for Golden State, to use up the picks which Dallas gave them. And for the Sixers, I think they're just dumping out some salary, getting some picks back, and being able to set themselves up for the future. Because honestly, they probably weren't going to be able to pay Buddy Hield the amount of money that he was looking for. Other things that we have are a lot of people were talking about interest, but something that did happen was that LeBron James did re-sign with the Lakers, and Bronny signed this contract with the Lakers. LeBron signed the 2-year, $104 million max extension. This was obviously after he saw what happened with Clay and what happened with all of the other free agents, like Paul George, what happened with the free agents like Quickly, what happened with the free agents, even from a guy like OG Anunoby, that all of them got signed pretty quickly, and it seemed like their teams were, ready to sign them back to their original deals. So LeBron was basically waiting, and he wanted to take a pay cut for a big star to come to LA. That didn't end up happening at all, and he ended up signing his max extension so he can make some max money. Now, what I will say is that his max extension is only a 2-year deal. So that basically means that he's either going to do that so that he can renegotiate a bigger contract in 2 years and maybe get his final NBA contract, or he's going to do that and then retire so he can play 2 years with Bronny. That's all that I'm saying, and it's honestly pretty crazy that LeBron can still get superstar level money at this age, but he deserves it. And yeah, for Bronny, he got 4 years, $7.9 million, fully guaranteed, with a team option in the 4th season. This is honestly kind of crazy because this is his rookie scale. Apart from the fact that it is a 4-year contract, and that is kind of crazy, the fact that most of his money is guaranteed, and it is in that way that he is signing his first contract, shows nepotism and in a way. If you guys don't know what nepotism is, it's basically like when your parents or family members basically have a heavy influence on the decisions that are made, especially in a franchise or in an organization. This is what basically happens with LeBron and the Lakers, which is not uncommon because let's face it, if it were any other team and they would have the ability with the 55th pick to draft a player's son into the NBA with a pick that that they could probably trade or that they're not going to use, or that they're only going to get a developmental guy, which is probably not going to see the rotation. It is not a bad idea just to go use that pick to enhance and get the son of whoever's on your team. In this case, LeBron did have a big influence, obviously. He wanted to play with his son. Bronny is not good enough to play, to be drafted in the first 60 players. he was trash in college, and he's completely a like different player as to who he is projected to be. He is a man, and he does get to play in the NBA. But I hope that they didn't just give him a contract and then he'll flame out and leave the league and pursue something elsewhere. I hope that he can use the money, and I hope that he can actually take his talent and grow on it and actually become a competent NBA player. Because I think that Bryce, the other LeBron son, is going to be very good. I just don't know if Bronny is going to be in the same way. Continuing forward with the trades and the things that have happened, um, the Warriors signed 3 years, $27 million extension to Kyle Anderson. This is honestly pretty crazy to me, as I do think that his spot on the T Wolves was a very good one, and I do think that his role was pretty insane. And honestly, I think that this was more just to assess their lack of depth. And in my opinion, this was probably one of the moves that cost them Klay Thompson. If we're being 1,000% honest, this was not worth it, as Klay Thompson is probably much better than Kyle Anderson. But the Warriors wanted to get depth. They wanted to get older dudes. They wanted to get dudes who could play. And they did by getting now a few other players. Finally, we saw Kemba retiring, which was pretty cool, as he is a pretty big legend in the game from his UConn days to now him playing in the NBA. It's very cool that he finally gets to retire, even though wasn't in the league for many seasons. Now he gets to go off into the sunset and be one of the better players that we've seen in terms of his time and when he was in his prime. A few of the other things that happened are that the Lakers are signing Nate McMillan and Scott Brooks to be their assistant coaches under JJ Redick. I believe that this is very good, as those two guys have years and years of experience. And there is a comment that I will say which shocked me, which was you could go and for the coaching staff of your head coach, you could get a bunch of experienced multi-year coaches which have track records. But for your head coach, you have to get an unexperienced player which has not an inexperienced coach which has not had that many years of experience. I do think that this is very interesting, as when we talk about these teams, and especially the Lakers now, they're going to have a front office and a coaching staff which is not going to be the most appealing of all time, even though they could be good and they could work. I also believe that there is a big problem, right, with the way that the Lakers have run their organization. In the end, there's a few more things which I would like to go over, because they're kind of smaller, but they are pretty cool, and I do want to go over like their off-season things and contracts and stuff like that. But I do want to go over some of the things which I saw as important in these trades. First, D'Anthony Melton is going to Golden State. He got traded there, which is pretty cool. This is more to their depth. Mo Bamba signed with the Clippers, a 1 year, I think, minimum. He's pretty good, and I think the Clippers are going to be able to use his size if they actually play him. Gary Harris stayed with the Magic. Goga Bitadze stayed with the Magic. Isaiah Joe stayed with the Thunder. These are pretty good moves. These are guys which were already there. They earned their money. They've been there for a while. Batum signed a 2 year, $9.6 million deal with the Clippers. This is good. It adds depth, and especially now that PG is gone, Kawhi is going to go back to small forward, which allows him to play his natural position. DeLon Wright signed a 1 year deal with the Bucks. Shout out to DeLon Wright. Drew Eubanks signed 2 years with the Jazz. This is more of, I think, a cap filler contract. Jalen Smith signed a 3-year, $27 million contract with the Bulls. That one was one of the better ones, as he's obviously a young big man and he's making his money. And in Indiana, he wasn't really doing anything. Kelly Oubre signed a 2-year, $16.3 million deal with the Sixers. Obviously, that happened very early, so we knew that. Aaron Wiggins signed a 5-year, $47 million contract with the Thunder. And then a few of the other ones include, the fact that James Wiseman signed a 2-year deal with the Pistons. Mo Wagner stays with the Magic for 2 more years, $22 million. And Monte Morris is going to the Suns. And Xavier Tillman is going to the Celtics for 2 years. Those were a few of the things. He's going back to the Celtics. And yeah, those are a few of the offseason moves.